Ahead of his final game against Florida State, Braxton Berrios repeatedly used one word to describe the Miami Hurricanes' 7-game losing streak to the rival Seminoles. Inexcusable, he said, describing the streak. On Saturday afternoon at Doak Campbell Stadium, Berrios did his best to make sure the streak ended and that once again, Miami would know what it felt like to beat its biggest rival. The senior receiver had a gamma-high 8 catches for another gamma-high 90 yards and 2 touchdowns in number 13 Miami's 2,420 win over the Seminoles, his performance helping spark the Hurricanes on a memorable day. Braxton played big, Hurricanes coach Mark Richt said. He's a wonderful senior leader, tough, smart, competitive, and so far, what does he have? 5 TD passes this year. Ball had to be placed right, had to be protection, but you have to make the play and Braxton's been doing that for us. I'm proud of him. Berrios' first touchdown came on a 21-yard pass from quarterback Malik Rosier and it gave the Hurricanes a 107 lead, their first of the day, with 6:57 left in the third quarter. With it, the North Carolina native became the first Hurricane since Reggie Wayne in 2000 to catch a touchdown pass in each of the first 4 games of the season. It also extended his personal streak of touchdowns in 5 straight games dating back to Miami's win over West Virginia in the Russell Athletic Bowl last December. Berrios would add another touchdown, this one a 6-yarder from Rosier with 509 left that would give Miami a brief lead in the fourth quarter. He also added a career-long 44-yard punt return that topped the 43-yard return he had against Florida State last year. Most of the people in here understand it's been a long one for me, especially the first 3 years and especially with Florida State, Berrios said. That's something I knew as a senior, I knew as a leader, it was going to be in my hands at one point or another. Freshman year, I still hear about that. Last year, I still hear about that. But like I said, it was everywhere and it's been surrounding me for years. And I knew coming into this that it was do or die. I'm either going 0-4 against them or we're flipping that page. And personally, I was flipping that page. To come out and have a game like that, I haven't looked at any stats, I don't care. We won. I was ready for that moment. I can't describe how it feels. Defensive standouts ahead of Saturday's game, the Hurricanes knew they were facing a Florida State team that allowed 17 tackles for loss against Wake Forest last week. While Miami didn't match that, finishing with 9 tackles behind the line of scrimmage, several players made noteworthy plays. Demetrius Jackson, Trent Harris, Joe Jackson and Kendrick Norton each had a sack of Florida State quarterback James Blackman, and both D. Delaney and Michael Jackson had interceptions. It was the first interception of Delaney's Miami career after the cornerback transferred from the Citadel. Jaquan Johnson, meanwhile, finished with a career-high 12 tackles to lead the Hurricanes. That all of those plays came against Florida State just made it all the more sweet. It ain't hit me yet, Thomas said. It just, right now, it's like we won the game but it will hit me later on. When you feel that love you haven't felt for a minute. The past few years when we've lost to Florida State, the school, the city, the love changes. A little bit. Right now, I know when we get back home, everyone's going to be praising me. It feels unreal. Costly win. While Richt didn't give any injury updates in his post-game press conference, several of Miami's top players were hurt Saturday. Running back Mark Walton, who has been hampered by an ankle injury since Miami's 5,230 win over Toledo on September 16, left the game late after appearing to injure the ankle again. Offensive lineman Navaughn Donaldson was also hurt on the same play. Receiver Armon Richards was still struggling with his injured hamstring and Sheldrick Redwine was in street clothes on the Miami sideline late, according to WQAM 560. Special teams and kickers have often been a factor in the Miami-Florida State series, and on Saturday, both Hurricanes kickers were solid. Freshman punter Zach Fiegels averaged 43.6 yards per kick and had a long of 52 yards. 2 of his kicks pinned Florida State inside its own 20-yard line. Kicker Michael Badgley, who last season had a potential game-tying kick blocked late in the loss to FSU, had a 31-yard field goal and connected on 3 extra points. He also had the final tackle of the game, taking down Florida State's DJ Matthews on the kickoff return after Darrell Langham's game-winning touchdown. Caption See Cabrera at sunsentinel.com, on Twitter at Christy Chirinos.